Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our alternative audio coverage of the World Cup round of 16 match between England and Senegal. I'm your alternative host, Nicholas Jones, and you are listening to the Commentary Hub. And I'm delighted to have on commentary duties JB Stothard and Luke Turton. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening, Nick. Good evening, everybody. Wow, how are your nerves, folks? That's my first thing, because this really is a big deal. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's a terrific atmosphere building up here in the Al Bar Stadium. I will bring you team news in a second or two, but I've got to say it's a pleasure to do this game, and it's nice to be back in the Combox again. I tell you what, if we get half the drama we saw in the Portugal game the other day, then I think it's a win-win tonight, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. The thing is, England have never lost to an African nation at all. I only found out about an hour or so ago. So this could be an advantage for them. But never forget, Senegal actually made the quarterfinals in 2002 before losing to Turkey 1-0 in the quarterfinal, thanks to the then common golden goal rule. Do you expect such heroics from them this time round?
Well, can I just say, Nicholas, I've got to be honest. When it came out that England were playing Senegal, it put me back in mind. And I'm old enough to remember Italia '90, obviously, because I'm nearly hitting the big 4-0 in a couple of months, and so I remember it vividly as a 9-year-old. And we drew Cameroon in the quarters, and everyone was saying that it was going to be easy pickings. We're going to win 5-0 and stuff like that, and they ran us all the way. Now, obviously, Senegal have got no Sadio Mane, as you know, but what I will say is, at this point, Nick, we can't take these lightly. They're not here to make up any numbers. When you get to the last 16 of any tournament, there are no mugs. I mean, I remember doing the last England game I did, and I don't want to jinx things by saying it, but I've got to say it anyway. The last time I did commentate on an England's last 16 game in any tournament was 2016. That ill-fated game where Roy Hodgson lost his job against Iceland, and everybody dismissed Iceland's chances that night. In fact, everyone was laughing at them because they were all part-timers and stuff like that, but they played as a team and we didn't that night. So, I'm sure Gareth Southgate's a astute enough manager, Nick, to know that they cannot take Senegal for granted, because if they do, then Senegal could be liable to make them pay for it. So England really do have to be careful tonight.
Only a fool would take Senegal for granted, because they proved to be no slouch in the group stage, edging out Ecuador in the last group stage match 2-1, if you remember, to qualify for the round of 16. And what could also help is that Aliou Cisse, the manager of Senegal, his assistant manager is El Hadji Diouf, who was part of Senegal's 2002 World Cup squad. But what's the team news for England and Senegal?
Yes, I'll give you that now, Nicholas, before I start preparing to what could be a very tense 90 minutes ahead. Right. Well, there's one major change. Obviously, Raheem Sterling isn't in the squad tonight because of personal issues, family issues, that sort of thing. He's not injured or nor suspended. So Bakary Saka comes into his place. But I'll give you the full lineups, of course. Jordan Pickford wins his 49th cap tonight. He's in goal, the Everton man. Kyle Walker wins his 72nd cap. He plays at right back. John Stones and Harry Maguire, nearly 100 caps, well over 100 caps between them. At centre back. Luke Shaw, 27th cap tonight, plays at left back. Declan Rice, then we go to the midfield. Declan Rice winning cap number 38, the West Ham man. Jordan Henderson, experience in the middle of the park. He makes his 73rd England appearance, the Liverpool man, also vice captain of England. Jude Bellingham, of course, he's there too. The Borussia Dortmund man, who really played well in that first game. Strutted in a bit about you. Fitted in and out against the US, and of course, and Bukayo Saka, the Arsenal man. What courage to come back from heartbreak at the Euros last year and to do well this time World Cup. Then we got Harry Kane. Look, he's 2 away from equaling the record set by Wayne Rooney for England in all-time goals. And then Phil Foden, the man who came into dramatic effect against the Welsh last time out. For Senegal, very quickly, Edouard Mendy of Chelsea's in goal. And then it's Youssef Sabri, Koulibaly, the captain, who's also plays for Chelsea. Diallo as well. And then we've got Ismail Jakobs, Pathé Ciss, Papouas Mendy of Leicester, of course. And Ndiaye, the Sheffield United player, he's winning his 5th cap tonight. Diatta of Monaco, 29th cap for him tonight, just the 2 goals. Ismail Assar will be the main threat, the big Watford striker, 52nd cap tonight, scored 11 goals. And also watch out for Salernitana's Barola Dair as well. He's 23rd cap tonight and has scored 4 goals already. I won't run through the substitutes, Nicholas, until near kickoff because there's so many to mention. We haven't got much time to fit in with the build-up before then. But join us in about 5 minutes for the anthems. Until then, it's back to you and Luke.
Thank you, JB. I was going to ask Luke anyway what he thinks of each individual side's chances before we hand back to him. So Luke, Senegal's chances of it against England, how do you see them?
I think Senegal will probably put us under a lot of pressure because we seem to have a lot of talk from, especially the fans, of the quarter-final opponent, and we seem to be forgetting that we're playing Senegal tonight. So let's just hope that we haven't taken it too much for granted already. But I mean, they've got dangerous players, and they're quite big, Senegal, as well, in height-wise. I mean, they're probably one of the biggest teams in the tournament, so we need to be on it from minute 1 and not let them into it at all. And I'm really fearful for Ndiaye up front because he's got pace, he's strong, and against our back line, that could cause some issues.
Yes. Who's your standout player for Senegal?
I'd say that Ndiaye up front for me.
Right, and as for England, what do you think Gareth Southgate will have to do differently to get round them? Because each nation will use a very different strategy compared to what he does.
I think that you just play your normal game and make sure to try and get in behind, take the game to Senegal, and try and move the ball quickly so it's not kind of within one player's feet for more than a couple of seconds, and try and create some chances, because otherwise, if we sit off and try and counter, then Senegal are quite capable of just scoring goals and taking their chances.
Yes, they certainly might be, and this could well be the time, yes, they certainly will be. So a final score prediction before I throw back to you and JB.
I'd say 2-0 to England. I've got to be confident.
Cocky or confident, whichever way you look at it. So is this the night that Harry Kane breaks the record of England's national goal set by Wayne Rooney? We shall find out. So I'm now going to hand over to our main commentators, Luke Turton and JB Stottard. Take it away, boys.
Thank you very much indeed, Nicholas, and welcome everybody to the Al Bayt Stadium. Well, it's England expects tonight, but one must never take Senegal for granted. They are a decent side on paper, but England, you feel on paper, would have enough quality to see the job through. But when were games won on pieces of A4 paper? Well, the teams are just a few minutes away from coming out here, and England know. The whole nation expects the winners, incidentally, will play France in the quarterfinals. They won very handsomely against Poland 3-0 this afternoon. And Mbappe looked in meticulous form in that one. And you may have listened to that one with Ross and Paul James. I think get as much drama tonight as we did the other night with the conclusion to Group H, which was my last assignment for the commentary hub. Then I think we will be in for one hell of a finish as we now await the sides in earnest here this evening. What an atmosphere it's building. Luke Turton's alongside me tonight. Luke, what a buzz, and you're very brave with the prediction. Obviously, me being the commentator, I'm sitting on the fence. I don't take anything for granted, but what a buzz and plenty of English flags flying around tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, JB. I mean, I say I'm confident, but I'm just predicting the 2-0 because I tend to like to predict wins before kickoff. I am not taking this at all for granted with the fact that Senegal will give us a really good game, but I still think that we'll eventually come out winners.
Well, you think that, but as I said at the start, games are not won on pieces of paper. There's Harry Maguire there in the tunnel. Harry Kane. Nicholas through to me saying, would Kane break the record? Well, he'd have to score a hat-trick tonight in order to break the outright record. 2 goals tonight would equal the record, incidentally, held by Wayne Rooney, who has 53 goals. As I said, Kane has got just a 51 at the moment. So he's second in the all-time list. And then there's Bobby Charlton on 49, Lineker on 48. And then I think it's Jimmy Greaves, the great Jimmy Greaves, the next one up. Don't quote me on that. Just seen Jordan Pickford. He's going to be wearing all yellow goalkeeper's jersey tonight. England look as if they're going to be playing in white tonight. They are, so they're going to be playing in their normal colours, not the red. The supporters of Senegal were making a nice, passionate noise, as they always do. Look at that, Luke. Have you seen that? Del Boy and Rodders, they're in town tonight. Let's hope England are not plonkers by the end of it. Well, the stage is set. We're still waiting for Senegal to come out of the tunnel. I wonder if they're keeping everybody here waiting. Kick-off just 7 minutes away here. And there are Senegal now. Well, they got to the quarterfinals in 2002, as Nicholas was saying at the top of the show. They were beaten by Turkey, who went on to the semi-finals, and were very unfortunate not to finish third. I think they did finish third, if memory serves me right, but it's a long, long time ago. But when the draw was made and we knew we were drawing Senegal, it just had a feeling in 1990 about it. Obviously, you weren't born then, obviously, Luke, obviously, but I'm old enough to remember Italia 90. And back then, England really took the Cameroonians they didn't take them for granted, despite the fact that they'd beaten Argentina in the first match and had disposed of Colombia in sort of calamitous sort of style with Rene Higuita and all that. But Senegal are no mugs, and it will be very wise to write them off at their peril. Just before we go to the anthems, pick out one player from Senegal that could be a main threat to England tonight, Luke.
Diaye up front.
What sort of qualities does he bring to the table that you think could cause problems for England?
He's physical and he's got a lot of pace.
Well, it certainly has. And also, I've got to work. Also, if I was to choose one, certainly Ismail Assar would be certainly up there. He's played against a lot of those players in his time at Watford when they've been in the Premier League and all that. The teams have made their way out onto the field. And myself and Luke are going to pause now for just a couple of minutes. And we're going to bring you the national anthems. And we'll start, obviously. With the, I believe, the England national anthem. So we're going to pause for just a second. And then we'll be back to read you the team news. But first of all, let's hear the 2 national anthems first. And it's going to be the English national anthem. Then the Senegalese national anthem. Now the Senegalese national anthem. Beautifully sung, both passionately sung. And they'll now shake hands for the inevitable handshakes like they do before every game. And let me give you the two lineups. Starting with England, Jordan Pickford is in goal, winning his 49th cap today, or tonight rather. Kyle Walker then. A back four tonight of Kyle Walker, John Stones, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. And then in the midfield, we've got Declan Rice and Jordan Henderson, and possibly Jude Bellingham in there as well. Bellingham winning his 21st cap tonight, Henderson his 73rd, Rice his 38th, and then up front, Bukayo Saka of Arsenal, 23 caps to him tonight. Harry Kane winning his 79th cap. Remember, 2 away from equaling Rooney's record, 3 to beat it outright. And Phil Foden wins his 21st cap tonight, the Manchester City star, who's had a terrific season in Sky Blue for them. For Senegal, who finished second behind the Netherlands, or Holland, to give him the whole title, they got no Sadio Mane, of course, no Raheem Sterling. Just before we move on to the Senegalese side, no Raheem Sterling if you joined us late due to family issues. That's the big news from the England camp. So Edouard Mendy of Chelsea's in goal for Senegal. And then it's Sabali, Kalabi, Diallo and Jacobs. Then it's Sis, Mendy, Ndiaye, Daita, and Shmer Assar, and Luke Turton's one to watch. Baloa Daya of Salernitana. Big physical presence up front. Referee today comes from El Salvador. That's Ivan Barton. Yes, I know. You heard it right. 2 assistants tonight. 1 a female, 1 a male. David Moran is also from El Salvador. He's one of the assistants. And Catherine Nisbet of the USA is the female assistant. We wish her the very best tonight. Sayed Martinez of Honduras is the 4th official, and if required, VAR referee is a Canadian, Drew Fisher. Just to run through the substitutes for England. No Ben White, he's flown back home, obviously, as you well know, and no Raheem Sterling tonight, at least, due to personal issues. So, Paul, these are the substitutes England can use. Pope, Ramsdale, Grealish, Rashford, Trippier, Phillips, Eric Dyer, Connor Cody, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mason Mount, Callum Wilson of Newcastle, James Maddison, and Sam Gallagher of Chelsea. I nearly said Crystal Palace, but he was on loan there last season. Dieng, Gomez, Mendy, Cisse, Jackson, Konate, and Day, Barrow, Papu Sarr, Dayuno, Faing, Name, Ndiaye, and Gay are the Senegalese substitutes. There's Youssef Sabali. He's created 7 chances already at this World Cup. Pointless statistic, I know. So we're all set to go. Almost on the appointed hour. The England players taking the knee to prove to the world that there's no room for racism in life as well as in football. And it's Senegal in the old green strip that get us away, attacking the goal away to my left-hand side. And the tension here for this game is unbelievably tense. If you're listening to this behind the sofa, we'll do our best to try and calm your nerves. I can't promise anything will be straightforward tonight, but you never know. As Pickford hooks the ball out of play early doors. Just to remind you, no Raheem Sterling in the lineup if you just joined us here on the TC Hub. And of course, if you are commenting tonight, please keep your comments clean. We're still a family show. Number 6 on the ball here, Mendy. Mendy turns, the Leicester City man. Finds one of his colleagues, and the ball goes out to the left-hand side. Senegal, no mugs, of course. Mendy now, Leicester gets the ball back again, and then number 22, Diallo, gets it out to the far side. And it's Koulibaly of Chelsea, gets it forward. He's intercepted quite brilliantly there by Declan Rice. And now gets Jude Bellingham away down that left-hand channel, but he's intercepted, and it's out of play for a throw to England. There's Gareth Southgate. Steve Holland, his assistant, sitting to his right, as we see on screen. There's Jordan Pickford again. Everton goalkeeper, keeping out Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale, who both have been in terrific form for both Newcastle and Arsenal, respectively, this season. But Pickford getting a nod on previous experience, and the same could be said of Harry Maguire as well. It was taught that James Maddison's not really been used as much to his up row when Foden wasn't used in the second game. But England have got to stay disciplined, and if they do that, touch wood. I hope you're touching wood as well, Luke. The goals hopefully will come tonight. 2 minutes gone on the TC Hub, and also just to remind you that we are listening you up to a big good evening to all Storm FM radio stations listeners. They've cleared the normal schedule on Storm FM, cleared all the decks to bring you live commentary of this game. So you're listening. So if you are on the Storm, listening to us on the Storm FM radio station, good evening to you all. Also, we're on these platforms for YouTube. We're on GB Sports, Storm FM YouTube channel, TC Hub and TC Hub 2, and we're also live on Twitch as well. So after all that, after getting all that out, as we look at the coach there, Aliou Cisse, who played in that 2002, and of course, Hellas Diouf, as Nicholas was saying at the top of the programme, is the assistant manager. I don't like using the word coach. It's too modern for me. Here's Jordan Henderson on the edge of the area, tries to thread the ball to Luke Shaw, but the ball's run out of play for a goal kick with 3 minutes gone here on the TC Hub. Luke, let's bring you in. Early impressions of the game so far.
The start was pretty much all Senegal until we made that interception. But then that's the first foray forward for England. And I think if the ball was a bit better, then we could have been in. But again, a bit of a poor pass. But England yet to really trouble the keeper.
Yeah, still early days yet, Luke, as you quite rightly say. 3 minutes. But I think we're set fair for a very good game of football here. I mean, if we were discussing it as neutrals and not England supporters, then I would say we're set fair for a very good end-to-end sort of game. Let's hope it doesn't put the mockers on that. Remember, it's got to be decided on the night. 90 minutes, extra time, possibly penalties. We know where we've been before. And here's Senegal making a break, and it's breaks for Pickford. And I think it was your mate Dyer who had made the run, and Maguire just did enough. Yeah, you were talking about him before the start there, Luke. He's quite a danger to them, isn't he?
Yeah, his pace is so dangerous, and you've got to be able to switch on against him. And lucky there, Maguire just was.
Maguire, who's had a very good tournament defensively, against the US alone, he intercepted something like 8 corners, 8 set pieces that the US had from corner kicks, which is a whopping statistic. He's really, when it comes to England, he really does buck up his ideas. He's had a dreadful season, really, for Manchester United. He's been left out of the side quite a lot, of course, under Erik ten Hag. But, of course, his bad form has been overshadowed by the events of Cristiano Ronaldo in the last sort of month, with the Piers Morgan interview and the subsequent termination of his mega contract at Old Trafford. But so it means it put Maguire's problems 1 and 2 in the shade. But he's grown up a bit as a player again at this tournament. There's no doubt about it. There's a foul there on Jude Bellingham. And England get the free kick with 5 minutes of the first half played. And, well, there's the FIFA president, who I actually criticised his dress sense. He wore a suit and a tie the other day, would you believe? He wore a suit and a tie and then wore a dirty old pair of white plimsolls, Grinsole trainers. Not a good look, is it?
No, not really.
Not when you're a president of a massive organisation that FIFA is, govern the game of football right around the world. And of course, when your face is being beamed into 1 billion homes around the world, you want to get your look right. Anyway, it's all about what England do on the field tonight that matters to everybody here listening in to the TC Hub. Of course, we'd like to hear from your comments as well. Remember, Storm FM, if you're listening on their internet radio, you've got us for the evening. Mike Arneman, who works there, normally has his DJ set to play, but he's cleared all those decks away to bring you this game. So anyone who's tuned into Storm FM on the radio, you've got us. You've got me, Luke Turton, and then Nicholas Jones for the evening. England win a free kick. 6.5 minutes gone. Luke Shaw's going to take it. It's just to the left of centre. I'd estimate about 40 yards out. It's too far away, obviously, for a shot. So it's going to be a floater into the penalty area. Shaw, Henderson, and Rice are the three-man committee. Henderson has just put his arm up, and it's going to be he who plays it short to Walker. 40 yards from goal. He floats it in there towards the back post where Rice is waiting, keeps it in by the byline. Ball played back towards Maguire. Kane was also lurking inside the 6-yard area. And in the end, Senegal had a bit more wayward to get the ball away. But England still on the attack here with Kane. Yet to score in this World Cup. And again, he's hassled out of it. And whistle has gone for an infringement by one of the English players. And the referee, Mr. Barton. Yes, I know. It's a very uncommon name for an El Salvadorian. But Mr. Barton, in fact, it's offside against Declan Rice. In fact, it took him an age to put the flag up, which I find, if you're going to tag someone offside, Luke, tag them off straight away. Don't waste another 15 seconds playing on when there's no advantage to be had. I just find that real bizarre, that offside real bizarre. Just simplify it.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, isn't it, JB? If you're offside, you're offside.
Yeah, meanwhile, Saka was having a little wrestle there with Diallo, trying to intercept the ball whilst Luke was talking. Mendy trying to pass out from the back. He's not had a good season, really, personally, with Chelsea. And you could do with a pick me up the Chelsea goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy, ball forward, but it's straining the arms of Jordan Pickford. Let's see if we've had any comments already, and we haven't so far. In fact, we have had a few comments. We've got someone. Yeah, you won't believe this, Luke. We've got someone listening to us from all the way from New York tonight, and he's an England fan, we believe. So yeah, Mike reckons he won one on a penalty shootout. I hope it doesn't go that far, mate. Here's Jude Bellingham now for England. Bellingham with the cross into the penalty area. The goalkeeper wasn't convincing. He tried to punch it away and he completely missed it altogether. Saka's picked it up for England. Here's Walker. He has to lay it back to Declan Rice now on halfway. Paul, who did a terrific job alongside Russ Burnham. He's actually been a terrific support act for the last few weeks, last couple of days on the commentary hub. Now there's something wrong with the ball. Was it the pressure of the ball? One or two of the players aren't happy. Just see that opportunity again. The goalkeeper there, Mendy, not convincing, but effective.
Yeah, I think he got a hand on the ball, which, to be honest, took it away from Saka, who was coming in at the back post. So he probably was a little bit effective, more than just claiming the ball there, JB. It all depends on your viewpoints, whether he wants to punch it away or catch it.
Well, that's it. But it did the job, even though it wasn't convincing. We're coming up to 10 minutes gone. The Senegalese are starting to make a bit of noise with their drums and their tambourines and all that sort of thing. And they're here to enjoy the ride. They've really lit up the atmosphere here in Qatar for the last fortnight or so. That I have no doubts. At least it didn't burst, our host says. Remember Euro 2016? I actually can't remember because I'm being honest. But anyway, let's forget about Euro 2016. It was a tournament to forget, really, from a personal England point of view. Here's Bukayo Saka, who picks it up on the right-hand side. Has to go back to Kyle Walker. And now Harry Maguire's had, up till now, a good tournament for England. Having a bad time of it at club level, but when it comes to England, he's never let his country down. Here's Henderson playing the ball in towards the edge of the area. Bellingham picks the ball up, goes away from two Senegalese, finds Walker, who finds Maguire. Now in the Senegal half of the field. Luke Shaw of Manchester United's got it, winning his 27th cap this evening. And here's Harry Maguire, vastly experienced himself with 52 caps to his credit now this evening. So much experience. Possession, England obviously dominating right from the word go here with well over 60, I would say well over 60% possession. So England, as you'd expect, dominating the play, but at the moment Senegal finding it a tough nut to crack. But wait a moment, here's Saka now. He's this crossed to be a good one. Just behind the two England men in the penalty area. One of them was Foden, the other was Harry Kane. England still have it with Bellingham. Bellingham turns away actually there from Chris. Did really well. And Bellingham again on the edge of the area. And we played a 1-2 with Foden nearly getting through there. And Bellingham looking a real threat there as Maguire intercepts. And the ball over the top. And Kane is onto it. Saka waits in the centre, but Kane's ball in. Probably hit it a little too early for Saka coming in. And the England captain's cross goes out for a throw and a throw into Senegal. So the last 5 minutes, England have started to go forward and are starting to get closer with each attack.
Yeah, it's all good up until the kind of final third, and then the final ball into the box is just a little bit either overhit, underhit, or just not hit at all. And we could do with getting that a little bit more perfect to score some, to create a few chances on goal. But we get a bit more of the play, but again, that needs to be a bit further forward as well for my liking.
Well, let's hope they listen to your wise words, Luke. 0-0 here if you've just joined us. Also, we're live on the Storm FM radio station. Nice to have, so any regular listeners to Storm FM, thank you for choosing us. All played into the area where Saka tries to get through on that right-hand channel, but he's hounded out quite fairly. Now, there's a problem there. Let's hope this isn't serious. There was a collision here between Harry Kane and one of the number 22 there, which was Diallo, who bundled him over, touched the toe end, and then Kane went whizzing in the air. And I just hope that's not a concern. He's on his feet, we can see, but let's hope Kane's okay to continue. He's a tough cookie, though, Luke, but it's also a concern when a real talisman like Kane gets injured.
Yeah, I think it was just a bit of a whack, JB. I think he was to run it off. It's just a bit of a physical tackle that you'll get during the game if you're the England's talisman, and Senegal will target you.
Yeah, and also we've got Rashford to come off the bench, and Rashford was in supreme form against Wales, got a brace. So for all things, I'm a bit surprised though when you look at where Rashford played the other night against Wales, that he wasn't even in the starting lineup. I would have gone with Rashford tonight, but it's Gareth Southgate who's in charge. He's paid the mega $1 million to make these big decisions, and he's not going to leave out the England captain, is he? Never in a month for Sundays if that ball is played through. It's easy for Edouard Mendy. So, coming up to a quarter of an hour gone. No goals. England making all the pressure. but haven't made it tell against Aliou Cissé side. In the grey tracksuit, and he's got dreadlocks, curly hair as well. I'm sure the dreadlocks actually. It's more curls than dreadlocks, if I'm being honest. I mean, Gareth Southgate would suit that sort of hairstyle. Short-haired, short back and side sort of bloke, Gareth Southgate. Terrific defender at Crystal Palace and Aston Villa as well. Middlesbrough, of course. Looking to put them. He's probably banished memories of his playing days when he missed that crucial penalty in Euro '96 against Andres Kupka of Germany. As Luke Shaw has been fouled there by Diatta, number 15. You're going to have a free kick about 4, maybe 5 yards over halfway inside the Senegalese half. It goes back to Maguire, who uses John Stones. Manchester United and Manchester City at centre-back tonight. You've got Manchester, in fact, it's all Manchester back four. You've got 2 players for United, that's Shaw and Maguire, and 2 players for City, Stones and Walker. So it's an all Mancunian back four with a Merseyside Geordie goalkeeper. Jordan Pickford, well, he's born up in the northeast and plays now for Everton. Started his career at Sunderland, came through the ranks there as a youngster. Played in goal when Sunderland were relegated in 2017. But distinguished himself enough to get a big money move to Everton. As we see Harry Maguire there tussling there. Game's just starting to get a little bit bitty here. But everybody at home, please keep calm. Carry on supporting England regardless. Early days yet. 17 gone. Long way to go yet in this last 16. Remember, the winners play France at the weekend in the quarterfinals. So if England were hopefully to get past Senegal tonight, they would have a much more tougher assignment against a very informed France, and Kylian Mbappe especially, who looks again the goods in this World Cup. And I think he looks a more awesome proposition this time round than he did in Russia 4 years ago. That's my personal opinion. But we can't really look far as to that yet, because there's still a long way to go in this one. And to underestimate the opposition, which is Senegal tonight, would be a very dangerous play indeed. Here's Kyle Walker on the ball. Goes back to Jordan Pickford. Pickford just casually, just striding out, knocking the ball short to Maguire. As Maguire, now Robert Stones goes forward, finds Walker. Patient play from England this. It's going to be, let's hope it isn't a long night for Luke Turton and myself, because in an ideal world, we'll want this over after 90 minutes. So 18 minutes gone, or 18 and a half minutes gone. England, you'd say, will be on top at this point, but at the moment, whilst it's at 0-0, it's anyone's. It should be cleared here by Diallo, and it is quite easily. At the moment, it's England attacking and Senegal defending, but I'd like to see both teams come out and attack. And I think in an ideal world, we'd love to see that. But, well, we're coming up towards the 20-minute mark, Luke. And, I mean, we haven't had too many clear-cut opportunities. But the signs are good going forward for Gareth Southgate. It's just that end product you feel that is letting them down at the moment. But there's still time, you feel, to rectify that, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, going forward, I think it's okay. I'm still a little bit worried at the back. I mean, we've been playing a few of the balls around, and a couple of times it's been inches away from Senegal intercepting the ball. But yeah, I mean, if we can get the end product right at the other end, then we'll be in business. It's just a little bit stop-start with the attacks currently.
And in fact, the referee's assistant, I've just noticed, has pointed to the corner. So I think England there, hook by crook, have just got themselves a very lucky break there. They've got a corner.
Yeah,
I must
because
admit, I was.
Yeah, because when Walker kicked the ball, he kicked it against the Senegalese player and it went straight out of play.
Yes, I've just seen a replay of that, and you're quite right, Luke. I must admit, I didn't see it real time as I was listening to you and I was watching the path of the ball, but I never saw an initial deflection. It's only when you see another replay. Mind you, the referee was right on the spot, and also David Moran, the assistant. Well, credit to him. Here's Phil Foden there with the corner from the right-hand side, and up Kent the heads, and I think John Stones got the final header in, and in the end it's sails wide and over the top of the bar for a Senegalese goal kick. Real opportunity wasted there for England. Let's just see if that came off John Stones, definitely last. Just gone underneath it a bit there, Luke, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was aimed into the sort of right area, but the execution from John Stones just wasn't quite there.
Well, there you go. And let's just cut off for a second whilst Senegal are just, you're not missing anything. There's a few comments as well. We've got a guy in from Martin Drums too. He says hello from Calgary in Canada. Of course, Calgary held their Winter Olympics back in '88. Good to find you guys online. Go England. He's an England fan, and he also says nice to find this stream because the BBC football coverage doesn't work over here, as you probably know. So yeah, thank you. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you are watching on any of the other platforms, whether it be TCO2, JB Sports, or Storm FM's YouTube channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bells, please. And we're also live on Twitch as well. Good evening to all our Twitch listeners out there. And the ball played in, a chance inside the penalty area, and England get away scot-free there. Ismaila Sarr has been penalised for a foul on the goalkeeper, but Dyer got the first header in, and Sarr came steering in there. England making mistakes, and as you were saying, Luke, Maguire had made the mistake. Dyer came in, Sarr came in. In fact, he was penalised for a foul on Pickford, but England can ill afford mistakes like Maguire's then to come back and bite them.
We've got to get the ball forward. We've got to stop messing around with it in our own half and giving them opportunities, because that's exactly what we're vulnerable to. And Senegal are going to play on it if we let them. Whereas if we got the other end and try and create a few chances, it takes the pressure off the vulnerability at the back.
And in fact, I'm sorry to break off for a second. There's a possible penalty check being. In fact, the check has been completed. It's not a penalty. There was a possible handball, but it would have been rather harsh having looked at the replay to have given it. But no penalty. Well, I must admit, I never saw a handball in the whole incident there. But England, you have to say, I've just got off a little scot-free at the moment. England 0, Senegal 0. We're about halfway through the first half here on all the TCO platforms. Just to remind you, Storm FM Radio. If you've tuned into the Storm FM internet radio and you're expecting to find your normal Sunday music programs, well, I've got to tell you, they have been shelved for the evening. So they can bring you this commentary live for you. So this TCO commentary also being played out on Storm FM radio, on the Storm FM radio station. So if you've tuned into Storm FM and wondering what these two strange voices are, this is Luke Turton and myself, JB, John Stuttard, who are taking you through this England-Senegal game live for you on Storm FM's actual radio station tonight, as well as the normal TCO platforms on YouTube and on Twitch. Nice to have you with us. Special good evening to you all if you joined us on the Storm FM radio. 24 gone, no goals, but plenty of incident. Here's Maguire charging forward. Again, gives the ball away needlessly. And then the ball not forward, and then England going to get plenty back there. Declan Rice was covering and bails out Harry Maguire. Ball recovery time, 14 seconds England, 29 seconds Senegal. But that really means diddly squat in the grand scheme of things. Whilst there's a quiet spell in the game, let's just listen to one or two of the comments that have come in. Nasimo King, watching the game on Telemundo and simulcasting your audio. Good evening to you. Mucho gracias. And mucho gracias to you too. Thank you for having us with us. Mike says, big chance for England there from the corner. They got away with that one. Massive chance. And Mike says on the penalty, would have been very soft to give it as a penalty. But with penalties that we've seen in the last few days, you never know. So that's just some of the comments that have flooded in the last sort of 5 minutes or so. And you can, as long as you keep your comments clean and not swear, we will accept them and read them out on air for you. Declan Rice now to Luke Shaw. Knows it's Jude Bellingham. Playing out on the left-hand side tonight. Declan Rice of West Ham. Finds Harry Maguire of Manchester United. Oh, rather, John Stones, sorry, of Manchester City. Here's Declan Rice again. Bellingham, who's just drifted into a more deeper role. Saka now has come out onto the left-hand side from the right-hand side. Tries to link up with Foden on that left-hand side. Can't find a way through. 26 gone. Senegal, what a free kick. All that's given is an English throw. Well, we've said it all in the last few days in the World Cup, the conclusion of the group stages, the ill-discipline of Uruguay, of course, at the end of that Group H. All them folks in Group H. And South Korea stuck through right at the very last knock-ins. That was a privilege to cover for the TC Hub. France going through, the Dutch going through. Watched their game back. I was due to commentate last night, but I had to curtail it due to personal issues. But they've been sorted, and I'm back behind the mic for the big one tonight. Just to remind you, the winners play France, who beat Poland 3-0 earlier this afternoon. And if you've heard it with Russ and Paul, well done for tuning in and picking us. And of course, if you are with us tonight on any of the YouTube platforms, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications. 27 minutes gone. Henderson has a throw for England. No, he's going to leave it to Kyle Walker. Deep inside Senegalese territory. And Kane has drifted out to the right. He should really be in the centre of the park, in my opinion. I know he likes to drop in deeper into the midfield areas, but really, when you look at it, he's our focal point. He's our man. He should be going forward and looking to sniff out the goals.
Yeah, I don't really think that that's the big issue here at the minute, JB. I think the bigger issue is about where the ball is now. We need to make sure that we're playing the ball forward, but not giving it away. Because Maguire a few times has tried to play the ball forward straight to a Senegalese player.
Well, England have it now, and again, they're going backwards again. But if that's how Southgate wants his troops to play, that's how they're going to play. But that's down to how you Cisse will have to do it tactically. And so far, tactically, he has got it spot on. But how long they can keep that up for, God only knows. But at the moment, England toying with Senegal at the moment until the ball needlessly goes out of play. Walker could have done better there to keep that in play, I felt. But there we go. Now there's Juve in there with the cap on. What a player he was. Played in England for a long, long time. Played for Liverpool, Blackburn Rovers and Bolton Wanderers. Terrific servant to Senegalese football and played in international football. Now there's an incident off the ball here. Saka was the closest player to the number 6 there, who's gone down in a bit of a heat there, which is Mendy of Leicester. Saka was also the other player involved. I'm sure it's just a draw. I think Mendy probably made a meal of it and tried to make a bit of a drama out of a crisis there, if truth be told. Jacobs is going to take the throw in now for Senegal, number 14. A long throw it is, picked up by Day, and a foul there has been given against England on halfway on the left-hand side. Foul on Ndai, free kick to Senegal. Mr. Barton, Ivan Barton, standing for no nonsense at the moment from El Salvador. I wonder if I do have my issues about the referee tonight. Of course, he's not from a country that's well renowned for their footballing prowess. But two of the three officials out on the field tonight are from El Salvador. So this really poses a real question. Are they up to a pace of a crucial game like this? We'll just have to wait and see. And the officials will have a bearing on things tonight. There is no doubt. Senegal keep possession. And at the moment, they're passing the ball towards the right-hand side, but not really penetrating England too much at the moment, which is not a great deal of concern England defensively. But with half an hour gone, Luke, England on top, but apart from that one scare when Maguire gave the ball away, they have been quite solid in a lot of things, and maybe patience is probably the key tonight, because Senegal, as we all know, will be a tough nut to crack, no doubt about it.
Yeah, patience will be key, but I mean, we can still do better than what we've done so far in this game.
And the ball's been given away. Just sorry to break off because Sarr's on the break. It was a bad ball away and a chance here now. And Senegal nearly scored from that. It was Dye who got the shot in. It was given away. I think it was Kyle Walker who gave it away on the right-hand side. England are trying to claim a handball. They've got a free kick now, halfway inside their own half. In fact, it was Saka who gave it away rather cheaply. And Ismail Sarr played the ball in, and Dyer, your friend, nearly penetrated England there, and it would have been from their own mistake, and England almost again paying the price, Luke.
It's kind of what I was going to say, JB. We can do better than what we're playing at the minute, and we're not switched on enough. We're giving the ball away to real dangerous players, and if Pickford wasn't alert to that run through there, would have conceded a goal. We need to get up the other end. And as for your comment on the officiating from El Salvador, if we're going to get up to the standard of some of the other refs, JB, then I think that's more of an issue than them coming from a team that's not really got football in prowess, because some of the more noticeable countries don't have a great standard either.
That's a fair point, especially our Premier League referees in our country, I suppose to admit. But it's just a little bit bemused that the only reason I question the El Salvadorian officials, the two, I think the US official, the female assistant, I think she'll be fine. It's just the ref man in the middle. I'm not sure about his credentials to referee a game at this pace. Can he keep it up? Here's Saka inside the penalty area, who've been mighty relieved that his mistake didn't end up being a goal for Senegal, because it wasn't for Jordan Pickford making a fantastic save, and England might have been in a mess. So 32 minutes on the clock, 33 now, we're ticking round to Senegal. I've had the two best chances. There's a little lion in there as well amongst the Senegalese crowd. Some are cheering, some are dancing, some can't even bear to watch. We've had a few comments flood in again. Mike Arneman especially. Kane needs to be the one who's on the end of chances. I don't like it when teams do that. When you've got your forwards taking corners and free kicks, doesn't make sense to me. And Mike says, what a fantastic penalty save there for Jordan Pickford. Good, strong hands. And Nicholas has been on, our host tonight, almost like what happened last night between the Argentinian and Australian. One time, Martin has almost conceded a goal to Australia with a mistake like that. So maybe, just maybe, that might bode well for England, funnily enough, going forward, because obviously Argentina went on to win 2-0, but England don't have a Lionel Messi type player to get them out of a hole. But England just living on the edge a bit, and they need to be a bit more savvy, as Luke Turton quite rightly points out. When they're on the ball, it's just those final balls that are just making a difference. Also, Luke, do you think it was a strange decision? I'll just hold that forward a second, because Senegal are on the attack here with number 19 here. Not number 19, it's Jakobs, sorry, number 14. It was Sarr who led the initial break, number 18. Ball played into the penalty area, and in the end it's come away, and England concede the throw off Saka, but I'll get your views on Marcus Rashford in a second, Luke, because Senegal have a dangerous throw in here. It's 6 yards away from the corner quadrant. It's almost in line with the 18-yard box on the left-hand side of England. England do get it out now. Harry Kane now needs to try and gain a few yards and try and get his colleagues into positions. He got a bit fortunate there. Attempted ball deflected. He found very kindly for Bukayo Saka. All played out to the far side and Luke Shaw. Into Phil Foden. Foden just losing his balance, but won the second ball very, very well. Finds Luke Shaw now. Plays it to Jude Bellingham. Bellingham now still on the left-hand side. We're inside the last 10 minutes plus any injury or stoppage time at the end of the first half. Maguire now has it for England. Goes short again to John Stones, who finds his Manchester City teammate Kyle Walker's long ball was down the right, intercepted. And the ball now is with Ismail Assar, who gets away from Walker. And Walker has to foul the Watford man. And Assar trying to show an imaginary yellow card. And I'm afraid that's disgusting behaviour. Just take the free kick, get on with it. Walker definitely tugged him back, but it wasn't a yellow card in my opinion. And Ismail Assar, if you're going to start showing imaginary yellow cards, then you lose respect with me. Then that's disgraceful behaviour. But it is a free kick to Senegal. 9 minutes now to go to half time. Luke?
I've seen them giving his yellow cards though, JB. I just think it's the fact that he's asking for the yellow card that's the issue. But also, England need to wake up. I mean, for the past 10 minutes, we've not really done a lot, and Senegal have become more into the game. If we carry on going like this, the only thing I can see is us conceding. We need to wake up and get a grip.
You're quite right as well. I mean, the points you make are very valid as well, but you're certainly looking at it from a really unbiased pair of eyes. I'm still a little bit English blood in me, but it's a free kick to Senegal. No doubt they could have had 2 goals easily tonight. And England really need to get a half-time, regroup, which brings me to the point, but we'll just see this attack about Rashford. I will come to the point with that in a second. It's the game now is being played very, very pacey now. It's end-to-end stuff. Diatta now comes forward for Senegal down the right-hand side. Now then, they've got plenty of players. Diatta continues to run. The ball out of play. Will be a goal kick. Now, let me just make a point about Marcus Rashford. He scores 2 goals against Wales, then gets dropped. Would it have made sense, Luke, in a game as important as that, to play him from the start? Because he offered a third dimension against Wales. What do you think?
Well, it's fair to say, JB, that I was raging from the minute I saw the team and saw that Rashford was dropped and Saka had come in. Not because of Bukayo Saka replacing Rashford.
Oh, wait a minute. Henderson for England, he scored! Jordan Henderson has scored for England, and that is what we needed. England have endured a lot and 2 missed chances for Senegal, and they have come back to haunt them. And England, Jordan Henderson, it's only his 3rd goal for England in 73 previous appearances. But my heavens, what an important goal that could be. England 1, Senegal 0. And England get that vital breakthrough with nearly 39 minutes gone, Luke Turton.
Yeah, I mean, JB, just keep coming to me with points, because this happened the other night with me and Paul. Every time we had a point, somebody scored.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was a brilliant breakaway and a brilliant pullback to Henderson, who arrived late and just stroked it home. I mean, that's exactly what we needed to do. It's basically against the run of play for the past 10 minutes, but that is a brilliant pullback from Bellingham and a brilliant finish from Henderson.
What a finish that is. Coolness personified. Mendy couldn't quite get there, diving away to his left-hand side. And England get the breakthrough. Well, there we go. Gareth Southgate, there's the applause. Get in, he says. Get in. And England, well, they've had to survive a couple of dodgy moments, of course, when Maguire gives the ball away, but really it is it has been a very, very, apart from those two dodgy moments, it's been a very accomplished England display. Gareth Southgate gets off the bench again. Wants more from his troops. We've got 5 minutes plus any injury or stoppage time to play at the end of the first half. And the Senegalese now, there's more worried looks, but they're still partying away there. So England goal kick then. Just to remind you, as well as of the Omo TCR platforms, we're now live on Storm FM radio, the actual radio station. So here's second half for England. And England looking to score again, and they almost did through, I think it was Harry Kane. He was trying to take it, going backwards, I think, to try and hook it goalwards, Luke. But England could have doubled their lead in an instant, and Bukayo Saka making things happen again down that right-hand channel.
Yeah, and I think if I was Harry Kane, I'd be disappointed not to score that, because he scored many goals in that sort of position.
Despite the fact that he's behind him a bit?
Yeah, possibly, but I mean, yeah, he probably has scored from that position before. But yeah, I mean, another good chance there.
And here he is on the ball again. The aforementioned Saka plays the ball in, and it's just too far over Foden's head. But England making things happen at the moment. Maybe that goal is just giving them that wee bit of confidence to take the pedals off, take the foot off the handbrake, or get the foot on the accelerator and start attacking more. Mike says that's class football, brilliant sweeping move and a lovely finish. And of course, you guys anybody can get involved. You can all get involved by messaging us. Keep your comments clean, no swearing. As things stand, we're still a family programme. 3 minutes to go to half time. We'll be crossing to Nicholas Jones at the conclusion of the first half, and then me and Luke will bring you whole of the second half live for you. Later on, there's Kane there. Has he been fouled? No, says the referee. Also from El Salvador. Here's second, Robert Bellingham. And here's a chance now for England. Goalkeeper's committed, and it's off the keeper for a corner. It was Luke Shaw who had made the darting run there, and it goes behind for a corner off Mendy. We'll come to Luke after this corner has been taken. But England now well on top now after those two scares earlier on in the half. They've got the goal lead they so desperately wanted. And when you look back at the statistics, I think it's a lead they thoroughly deserve. Luke Shaw though making a fantastic run. Goalkeeper's chest, turning it out for a corner. Looks like it's going to be Shaw again to deliver into the penalty area, headed away by the Senegalese defence. 2 minutes of normal time to play. Kane was coming out from an offside position, so he couldn't be involved at any stage there. And Senegal are able to get it away and out for a throw into England. As an England player had gone down, it's Bukayo Saka, I believe, down there at the moment. But England, since the goal, Luke, have really taken command and could have easily gone more than the one goal ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, and I kind of agree with Mike's comment in the chat about Shaw. Sorry, has to square that ball earlier than he tried to do it where he hit Mendy's chest. That had to be a first-time ball straight into the box as Mendy came across, because they were clean through.
Well, there's an England fan I've just seen there holding up a replica of the World Cup there, but it's a bit early to start waving that about. Still a job to be done here, and there's still another 45 minutes in the second half to go, but still a long way to go yet in this game. So many twists and turns, but thankfully England a goal up. There was a couple of chances. Sarr and Dyer have missed great opportunities, and here's Declan Rice down the right-hand channel. Again, nobody in the penalty area, but they've won a corner, and probably that was the best that Declan Rice could have hoped for under the circumstances. Good running, didn't get his head up, but he got a bit fortunate, but probably got the best result that England could have actually realistically got there. So a corner kick. We're inside the last quarter of a minute. 15 seconds of normal time. Then we'll get Sayed Martinez from Honduras to find out how long we're going to have. And it could be anything in this tournament. As I said the other day, Foden to take the corner. From the near side towards the back post where Maguire jumps. Well, he gets out jumped in the end. Shaw will try and retrieve it and lets it go for a throw. There's only going to be 2 added minutes. So we're back to the most sensible amount of stoppage time at the end of the first half. So as we go into those 2 minutes, Luke, what have your overall impressions of the first 45 minutes been?
Yeah, it's been a bit topsy-turvy for England. They started having a bit of play in the first part of the half, then Senegal came into it, and then we've kind of finished it more on top again. I mean, with the Rice run a couple of minutes ago, I think he could have pulled it back to Bellingham. But yeah, here we come again.
Yeah, Kane was dispossessed, however, and Bellingham has won it back, but illegally, says the referee. Ismail Assar getting the wars. Running back a battle between him and Bukayo Saka. Saka did block him off, though, if I'm being totally blunt. But we're now playing the second up to 2 added minutes. Nice to see a bit of sensible amount of stoppage time being added on at the end and not 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes that we were getting at the start of the tournament. That really yanked a lot of people. That really yanked a lot of people's shades, didn't it, Luke?
Yeah, don't talk too soon though. We've still got the second half added time to come yet, JB.
Yeah, but in terms of the first half, that's what you'd expect, 1 to 2 minutes. Second half, yes, you quite rightly say it's a different kettle of fish entirely. But England, more importantly in that, are in the lead. As the ball's pumped forward and Walker's able to get it, Saka away. We've got about 10 seconds. I should also say that it is a minimum of 2 minutes. The referee from El Salvador could be liable to add time on for at the end of added time. As the ball is pumped in there by Yakovs. England can ill afford to lose one right at the end of the first half, but Bellingham putting his head in where it could have hurt. Has come away with the ball and he's run sort of 10 yards with the ball and he's fed it into Foden. He's fed it into Kane. Now this could really put England in a great position, and he has. Harry Kane has done it. It's 2-0 England. Wow. What a breakaway, Luke. 2-0 England.
That is what you call counter-attacking football. That was brilliant.
What a move. And it was all started really by Jude Bellingham putting his head in where it really did hurt. It really was. He stepped the move up and then ran something like 25 yards with the ball. He put it into Foden's path. And then Kane, acres of space, definitely onside. Look at Bellingham run there. As the whistle sounds for half time, your views on that one. How did Kane stay onside there? That was brilliant. And he held his run perfectly, Luke.
Well, he held his run because we basically ran from behind him for a starter, but also Kane was due a goal in this tournament. He'd gone through the whole group stage without scoring, so he was bound to score tonight. But Bellingham, again, wow, that was a brilliant run.
Yes, it was, and that now puts him one behind Rooney's record. Well, one away from equaling Rooney's record. Didn't he take that superbly well? And the England fans, and I number myself one, oh, he celebrated like it was 1966 all over again. The whistle has gone. So England lead 2-0. Let's just read a couple of comments before we head back to Nicholas Jones. That's beautiful. What a finish. Don't keep Harry Kane down for too long. And Jude Bellingham did fantastically there. So there we are. That's the story as we go into half-time. England had to survive a couple of scares when Sarr and Dyer had real opportunities. But Pickford bailed them out when it was needed to. And then Jordan Henderson, only his third goal for England, swept in from 6 yards. And then Harry Kane from a breakaway after some great work from, first of all, Jude Bellingham, who put his head in to win the ball in the first place. He went on a 25-yard dash. He played it to Phil Foden on the left. He played it into the centre. Kane went on and finished from just outside the area with the keeper advancing. So England are in complete control and stand 45 minutes away from a place in the quarterfinals, potentially against France. Half time here as we hand back to Nicholas Jones. England 2, Senegal 0.
Thanks, JB. Finally, Harry Kane gets off the mark at in Qatar 2022 as a contribution to putting England in front. But Jordan Henderson, that first goal, as you mentioned in commentary, JB, just coolness personified, just cool as you like, and he to me just scored like he didn't have a care in the world. Or should I say, Luke?
Yeah, it was a brilliant finish from Jordan Henderson, and it's like he took it like he was a striker.
Yes, indeed he did. But Senegal had a couple of chances themselves, didn't they? I think Diar came close to. I think Diar came close to breaking the deadlock at times, but it's just lucky that Pickford and one or two of the England defenders were there to stop him.
Yeah, Diar, I picked him up for kickoff, and again, he's proven why he's so dangerous for Senegal. But England, if they don't create their own downfall, then they're not going to get into these positions. But the first half, we were a bit nervous at the back, and Diar was getting in behind. So I mean, he had a couple of chances. We dealt with it and went to the other end and capitalised on our two chances. So at the end of the day, the scoreline says that we're 2-0 up and we're in the lead currently.
Indeed we are. But before we go into any further discussions, just got time to plug what's coming up tomorrow. On the Commentary Hub, and starting tomorrow at 3:00, it's Japan against Croatia with Russ Vernon and Mike Harneman on comms for that one, and later on at 7:00, Brazil against South Korea. Jack Hesson will be the man behind the mic, and South Korea, given their position in Group H, they could well spring a surprise against Brazil, and I must say Japan very surprised that they won their group, because I thought Spain was going to do it, but we're starting to get a bit off the subject here. But anyway, Senegal. What do you think they have to do to up their game for the second half?
I mean, it's very, very difficult, but I think if they keep playing and keep trying to create things, they could get a breakthrough. But again, it all depends on what they intend to do. I mean, they could switch it up and put a couple more up front, switch out Diatta. I think he's playing behind with Njai. Switch a couple of those two out, put maybe Jaiju off the bench on, but I think at the end of the day, I think England's counter-attacking has been brilliant this evening.
Yeah, but we've also got to go back to someone we discussed. We've also got to go back to someone we discussed earlier, Marcus Rashford. Surely he's got to come on sometime during the second half, early on, ideally.
Yeah, I think Southgate will switch out a couple of players if we get another early goal in the second half, because then you can probably take Saka off, put Rashford on. No side wants to really see Rashford come off the bench because they've just defended against Saka and Foden for 45 minutes or however many minutes it is when they come off. So yeah, nobody wants to see Rashford coming off the bench in that position.
Even though we're seeing the likes of experienced players such as Maguire, Henderson and Kane, it's really great to see some young blood come in come in and contribute to England's scoring, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, indeed, and yes, indeed. I just taking another look now at that Kane goal. Really good play up front. Really good play up front by Bellingham, and Kane was just able to finish that one off really easily. I think he might have had a bit of help from Phil Foden.
Oh yeah, he definitely had the assist goes to Foden and it was played across to Harry Kane who just puts it away. I mean, I think we were waiting for Kane to score in this tournament and he's just done that.
Yes, indeed, he did. But we need to. But yes, indeed, he did. But we'll be back. Yes, yes, indeed, he did. But but uh, but 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 credit must go to Jordan Pickford for for saving the goals when it mattered because it just goes to show that he really is one of the best European goalkeepers in the business.
Yeah, it was a brilliant save from Jordan Pickford. He kept us in 0-0 and then we went and capitalised up the other end.
Yes, that's right. But that's right. So now that England are 2-0 up against are now 2-0 up against Senegal. How do you see the final score being played out now? Are you thinking that England could at least get 2, possibly even 3 more goals?
I think that England could. It all depends on how England's approach is. I mean, England could come out and get a couple more, but again, it also depends on how Senegal come out in the second half. They could try and make it even more difficult for us. So in this World Cup, you never know what's going to happen, Nicholas. You just never know.
Now is not the yes, but even so, now is not the time to get complacent. We're going to take a bit of a short break, but do join us just before the start. But do join us just before the start of the second half. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's coverage of England against Senegal in the round of 16. We're just about ready to get on the way to the start of the second half. So I'm going to hand you back over to our commentators, Luke Turton and JB Stottard.
Thanks, Nick. Welcome back, everybody. Well, 45 minutes to go. Let's hope it's just 3 minutes as far as England are concerned. We had a few heart palpitations for the first 38 minutes. And then Jordan Henderson and Harry Kane, right on half-time, have given England a 2-goal buffer as they kick off, attacking the goal away to my left-hand side. Senegal have made changes, which I'll have to get confirmation from, because I don't know who's come on and who's come off. We've literally had a little mini drama before I came back on the air. Well, let's reacquaint yourself with the two teams. Pickford in goal for England. And it's back four: Shaw, Maguire, Stones and Walker. England unchanged, incidentally, as you'd expect. Bellingham, Rice and Henderson in midfield. And then up front, Foden, Kane and Saka. Kane getting the second one. So we'll clarify the start of the second half, the Senegalese team in a second. Here they are now. Mendy in goal for them. They're on the attack, but England stuff it out. Back four of Jacobs, Diallo, Koulibaly and Salabari. So it's unchanged midfield four. Sarr and Gay are both in for the start of the second half. And then Dieng is also on for Sarr. So they've made 3 changes. Cease is definitely one that's been replaced. But I can't figure out the other one. But Sarr and Cease have left us. But there is another player, and I'll need to find out who is Gay. Yeah. So anyway, we'll get the. Anyway, we're back underway then. Nothing's happened in the first minute and a half as Senegal now play the ball back. Now have possession, but they've lost it now. England, they wouldn't have won half time to have come, because they were well on top and could have scored more than they've got. In between the first and the second goals, they had 2 or 3 more very presentable opportunities, and alas, didn't take them. But England in complete control of their own destiny as long as they don't mess it up in the second half. Luke Turton alongside me for the second half. Been a good first half. It was a terrific first half. We'll just break off for a second just to see if Saka gets this ball on the right. He will. And here's a chance for England. Ball chip back, and it's hooked away by Koulibaly, the captain. Rice heads back, and it's hooked away by the Senegalese. But Luke, England well on top there. They wouldn't have wanted half time to come, obviously. But what do you expect England to be a bit more disciplined, maybe less can hold, but just hold that fort because Bellingham's on his way. Bellingham now trying to take on a couple of defenders, but again, hounded out. Right, Luke, do they need to be disciplined, England, this second half with that 2-goal buffer?
Yeah, they can't get too complacent, JB, because it's only 2-0, and we have seen how vulnerable 2-0 can be as a scoreline. But you've got to think that England will try and get a few more goals in the second half to really make it comfortable.
Well, England don't need to go 2-goal hole. As long as they keep it tight at the back, don't give anything silly away. Then it's England-France next weekend in the semi-finals. No, we're around too early there. We're around too late there. But it's the quarters. But that will be a tough test if England are to get through. French in irresistible form, killing Mbappe especially. But here's Bellingham, goes down. Never going to be a 3 kick. I think he went down a little too easily there, the Dortmund man. Started his career off at Birmingham City. And the youth team's there at St Andrews. And when he burst into the scene several years ago at St Andrews, they knew they had a great player on their hands. And he had to pick up his big clubs. Bellingham went to Dortmund, considering the success that Sancho had as Senegal launched another attack. Comes to nothing. Shot comes in and it's wide. Probably sure to say it came to nothing there, I must admit. But shot came in there. Just a little warning there for England, Luke, at the start of the second half. But Senegal aren't here to make up any numbers. Although I must admit, I have to say, Sabri did look a touch upside on the first phase.
Yeah, we've still got to be switched on, and I don't think in that moment we were as switched on as we could have been.
Yeah, but in the end, Papasar had the shot at the end. So Ismail Sarr has gone off, obviously, and his namesake has come on. All a bit confusing, those substitutions. I had a little crisis. I'd signed out the streaming software and had to get Nicholas frantically to get me back into it. But we've had 5 minutes of the second half. Just to remind everybody, if you're tuning in on Storm FM's radio station, the actual radio station, expecting your normal musical programs, they've been shelved for this week, I'm afraid, to bring you this game between England and Senegal. So if you were hoping to listen to a bit of chill out music this Sunday night, well, it's been replaced just for 1 week only. So you're getting commentary of England Senegal, but I'm sure you understand that. But a big welcome to anyone who's listening on Storm FM, maybe. So if you're wondering who the unfamiliar voices are, Nicholas Jones you heard at the start, and of course myself, John Stuttard, and Luke Turton, your commentary duo for this one. England leading by 2-0. Jordan Henderson on 38 minutes. Harry Kane, 45 plus 3 minutes. Is Shaw out on the left-hand side, gets the ball forward. It's out of play for England throw-in. And almost halfway inside the Senegalese half on the left-hand side. Gareth Southgate and Steve Holland there, the management duo for England. Last couple of tournaments, remember. World Cup semi-final, Euro 2020 final, and they didn't really do themselves justice on the night, despite drawing 1-1 with Italy and losing on penalties. Marcus Rashford. Well, we were talking about would his services be needed, and possibly second half. That was certainly a debate that I was going to have with you second half. At the moment, as things stand, it might not be purely academic, because England are at the things stand, dare I say, cruising, and they're in possession now deep inside the penalty area with Jude Bellingham. Good skills by Bellingham, just hounded out a bit by 3, maybe 4 green shirts. Here's Kane in possession. Finds Declan Rice. England looking more and more comfortable as each moment goes by on the ball. Certainly Bukayo Saka of Arsenal. What a tournament he's having. Okay, he was at fault for one of the opportunities, but apart from that, he's had a very good game. Here's Harry Maguire, who made the initial mistake for the Dyer chance. Here's Foden. Been a bit more quieter than you would have expected tonight, but that said, Maguire again dawdling, and John Stones pace enough to get the ball and get it back to Jordan Pickford, and he may have just strained a little ligament in the process, but that was what you were talking about first half. Luke, you have to be more savvy. And again, Maguire just a little bit guilty there of trying to overplay it. But here's Foden again. Foden lucky for Kane, it's overhit. You were saying earlier, Luke, that we can't get complacent. You have to say Maguire got a little bit complacent there and trailed out a bit by his centre-back partner.
Yeah, Maguire's having a bit of a shaky night tonight. He's given a couple of balls away, and then again nearly got caught out on that one a couple of minutes ago. So especially Maguire just needs to pay a bit more attention to what he's doing on the ball.
Yes, wise words there from Nottingham's finest, Luke Turton. 2-0 to England. If you're listening here, don't forget we're on all TCL platforms tonight, whether you're listening to us on JB Sports, Storm FM, the Storm FM YouTube channel, that is, and the radio station. Also, we are also live on TC Hub itself and TC Hub 2, and we're also on Twitch as well. Here's Saka now inside the penalty area. Put through by Kane. Goes for goal, right-footed, but well wide of target. He appeals for a corner. Nothing doing. Goal kick it is. Rice winning the ball initially there, Luke, and Kane continued on. Final shot wasn't great. Sailed over the top and wide, but the initial tackle from Declan Rice, that was something special.
Yeah, the tackle was great, but the shot just wasn't.
Yeah, you like to put a downer on things, don't you? Only kidding, Luke. It's been a great night for England. Let's try and put a positive on it. More than a positive, it's been a terrific performance. Apart from 2 or 3 mistakes in defence, which hasn't been punished mercifully, England have looked far and away by a large the better side. One ball forward, That should be too long. That should go out for a goal kick. It does. So England can breathe another huge sigh of relief yet again as we rapidly head towards the 10 minutes of the second half. And when I say rapidly, Luke, I mean rapidly. It's gone quick, hasn't it?
It has, GB. I didn't even realise we're nearly on 55 minutes.
Anyway, just a reminder, the goal scorers: Henderson after 38, Kane 45 plus 3. England, as things stand, and I should stress this at this point, still 35 minutes plus injury time. And as Luke quite rightly pointed out, it could be anything in the second half. And fourth officials are liable to give anything they so desperately want. As long as England don't time waste too much, then we should be all right. But you never know. Here's an opportunity for Walker to get a crossing from the right, but it's tucked away once more. And so far, England, without trying to overemphasise enough, they are looking in control. But how many times have we watched a football game, Luke, over the years? A team looks in complete control at 2-0 and then starts to switch off. England can't afford to do that. Kane shoots. Goalkeeper didn't hold it and was very thankful that there was nobody in a white shirt following in, Luke, because that could have easily been punished. Good effort from Kane. Very speculative. Good speculative effort there from Harry Kane. Goalkeeper didn't cover himself in glory, Luke, but he was very merciful. The fact that there was no England player following up.
Yeah, it was a good shot from Kane into Mendy's arms, but Mendy didn't hold it. I mean, I've not been impressed with Mendy this tournament anyway, to be honest. But again, I don't think anybody could gamble on it that quick. You'd have to be lightning fast to get on that error.
Well, yeah, true, but it's called they're calling the trade anticipation. But anyway, England anticipating another attack possibly here through Harry Kane, who's broken his duck in the World Cup. Ford running down the left hand side, and there's second to tapping number 3. Chips it over the keeper.
Yeah.
And England now go, you feel, into an unassailable 3-goal lead. Bukayo Saka, whose play tonight has deserved a goal. It's got its goal. And with 57 minutes gone, touch wood, England are 3-0 ahead and surely now sailing into the quarterfinals, Luke Turton.
Again, that's brilliant play. And it was a brilliant finish from Saka.
But what a move in the first place. Kane, good anticipation. Watch this now. Saka, there's Kane on the ball. Gets a bit lucky, breaks nicely to Foden, who does really well to escape 2 challenges. And no doubt about it, Saka was onside. Luke. Great finish, as you say, but you have to say good work from Kane and Foden in the first place.
Oh yeah, great play by Kane. Then just the run of the ball goes to Foden. He beats a couple of players and pulls the ball across. Brilliant.
Brilliant indeed. England 3 up, and as things stand, dare I say it, are coasting into the quarterfinals for a little date with France. Le Crunch, I think we might term it next week. Well, they always say that when England and France collide in the Six Nations in the rugby, always call that clash Le Crunch. Well, England looking on song. Saka, after 57 minutes, is proving his worth to the England cause once again. And that also is his 7th goal for his country as well in just 23 appearances. Terrific return from him. And underlining the faith that Gareth Southgate has placed on him. And when you think back to July last year, when he missed that horrible penalty, and it was a horrible time for him, how he's bounced back. Bounce back has been nothing short of phenomenal. As Kane plays the ball to Walker, and it hits the defender and goes out for a throw, and he's going to have to get some treatment here. No, he's up on his feet. Good. I'm glad he didn't milk that there, the number 14, the substitute. He's known as a substitute, I don't think. Jacobs, sorry. So that's 3 goals in 3 games for Saka. That's his 3rd goal in the tournament as well, actually. And Kane now has 1 to his name. And Henderson moves as well. So 3-0, but you have to say the mental strength for Saka to come back from that setback in the Euro final a year and a half ago and to get into a position where he's took to the World Cup like a duck to water has got to be commended, Luke.
Yeah, it took immense strength, and I mean, he was extremely young when he took that penalty. I think there's a bit of a question mark over whether he should have took the penalty in the first place. But to bounce back like he did has been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, he's shown character, whereas other people would fail to come back from it. He's shown mental strength and also the support of the club and of Arsenal, of course, and of course Gareth Southgate is stuck by him through thick and thin. England substitutes warming up, but I'm sure the question will be, will Jack Grealish get on at all? Because England are in complete easy street at the moment. But wait a minute, here comes Daib, and he's lost possession. Again, we can't rest on our laurels at 3-0, but it's an unassailable lead, you'd think. Here's Foden charging forward, and he can't be found. And the ball hustled back to Mendy. And England daring to dream. Still 29 minutes plus any additional time left. But surely Senegal can't score 3 in half an hour. You wouldn't think so. They don't look like scoring at the moment, judging by the opening quarter of an hour. But football is a crazy game. Certain Jimmy Greaves once said it is a funny old game, but nothing funny about the England performance tonight. They've been exceptional. Pickford knocks it out for a throw now. Will Southgate ring a few changes, save the legs for the weekend? Let's assume they are in the quarterfinals. They're not yet, but assuming they see out this 3-0 victory or whatever else it happens, and they go for it. Goalkeeper did get a touch on that third goal, but wasn't enough. But say they don't concede anything and it gets to 75 minutes, Luke, would Southgate at that point be tempted to take off some of the more key players and rest them up for next Saturday or next Sunday even?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think there'll be a bit of rotation.
Yeah, in fact, Grealish is about to come on actually. He's a terrific player. Came for the youth system at Aston Villa, of course, and then got his big money move, £100 million. It was to Manchester City a year and a half ago. And he's certainly proven his worth. Certainly paid some of it off this season with lots of assists and goals he's got. And so let me just, while we're thinking about it, let's just try and work out when they might play. So let's have a look at the bracket. So Netherlands against Argentina, that's definitely going to take place on December the 9th. We know that. And it will be on the 10th of December, the game in Al Cahor if England do get through. France await the winners. And just to remind you, coming up on the TC Hub tomorrow, the 5th of December. I think we are on December the 5th. We are. So tomorrow, the 5th of December, we have 2 games for you. Japan against Croatia. We'll have that live for you. And at Doha 974, that stadium built out of container ships. Brazil against South Korea. What a game. 2 good games that promises to be. And then December the 6th, we'll have live for you Morocco against Spain and Portugal against Switzerland, all coming up on the TC Hub for you. So there's plenty of good games coming up in the next day or so on the TC Hub. And then at the weekend, we've got the quarterfinals, semi-finals, the next week on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the final itself. Saka has gone off. Marcus Rashford has gone on as well. And also Foden has gone off. Jack Grealish has gone on. Surprise at all, or would it be something that Gareth Southgate, now viewing in mind it is 3 up, would think their work is done. Let's give Grealish and Rashford a chance to create a bit more havoc.
Yeah, I think it's more a fact of fresh legs onto the field and just keep going. I mean, you don't need to overexert Saka and Foden. you can put Grealish and Rashford on. They're probably just about the same ability, and see if we can get a couple more.
Well, it would be nice, but let's not be too greedy. But they have a free kick on the right-hand side. Saka takes the acclaim from the England supporters who give him a really good standing ovation. And boy, does he deserve it. And of course, Luke will be choosing our player in the match near the end. And I'm sure Bukayo Saka and Phil Foden will be just two of those players in possible fourth. I'm sure it will be an England player, Luke, I would have thought, if we can narrow that down. But yeah, you've got 20 minutes now to make up your mind, Luke, and decide who's going to be your player of the match. But there's plenty of good candidates out there. Kane certainly is one of them. Certainly Saka has been up there. Foden has linked up well. Henderson, of course, he scored one of the goals. Been that sort of night, really. Here's Luke Shaw now for England. Bellingham, who's had a decent game himself. Trying to make things happen as much as he can. Stones, who bailed out Harry Kane, bailed out his centre-back partner, Harry Maguire, a couple of times tonight. But it really just put the onus on the French game come the 10th of December. And I believe it's a Saturday, that game that will be taking place. So next Saturday, you'll be able to hear that. And you'll be able to hear that with us on TC Hub as well, on all the major platforms. I've got to say, it's been remarkably a very, in the end, a straightforward England performance so far, considering. And we're now rapidly coming up towards the halfway mark with the second half. England up a free kick 10 yards from halfway inside their own half. England, remember, Jack Grealish and Marcus Rashford on. Rashford, who got a brace last time. On 3 goals for the tournament, along with Bukayo Saka. We've now played 67 minutes on all the TCR platforms and on Storm FM Radio and Twitch. England 3, Senegal 0. Just to remind you, if it was to be a miracle that Senegal got 3 back, which on paper looks highly unlikely, we would have extra time. And if it was over after that, again, another unlikely scenario at the moment, penalties. But here's Maguire, just a little bit under hit, but it had enough legs to get back to Pickford. And here come Senegal again, who at the moment are trying to pierce a way through, but at the moment it doesn't look likely. I mean, we, but for the first 38 minutes, we didn't. Myself and you, Luke, didn't feel that in our wildest dreams we'd be sitting here some half hour later eulogising over a 3-goal buffer.
No, we weren't, because we were kind of thinking whether the end product was ever going to come, and then it came that fast that we're now sat at 3-0.
Well, there we are. But England showing their quality, and they'll have to show a lot more savviness when they do, if they do get through and play the French on at the weekend. But all that is still to be, just got to get through the next 22 minutes plus any additional time. And I just hope if England do extend the lead, I'll just keep it at 3 and just be coy with the ball. I hope for Senegal's sake they don't get too much time added on at the end, because at 3-0 it's a lead. It's a some would say an unassailable lead, and maybe if they look a tired side now, Senegal. They've put a lot into it tonight, but I think the tiredness has crept up with them, and I think they know it's those Senegalese supporters. They know it's the end of the line, really. A few good-looking ladies in the England crowd there. By the way, ladies, I am single. Just so you know, eligible bachelor, 40 years old. TCR senior commentator. Got a lovely line in suits. Here's a bell. England 3, Senegal 0. If you just tuned in. I know you weren't watching an advert for a dating agency. You are listening to TCL commentary of England 3, Senegal 0 with Luke Turton and myself, JB. Here's Marcus Rashford, first touch to see what he can do. Waiting into Harry Kane, rather Jordan Henderson, sorry, who's just drifted out towards the right-hand side. Ball knocked back across and Senegal in position now. Would you advise? I mean, let's concentrate on Harry Kane. Will he want to stay on the field and try and equal Rooney's record, or do you think at this point will Southgate look at it and think, shall I take him off and save him for the French game? Because they're going to need all the players they can get, and of course, if Sterling is sorted out his problems by then, he'll be obviously included in the force of Southgate for selection. But they haven't missed him too much tonight, have they?
I think that on Harry Kane, another 5-10 minutes, probably look to take him off and put Callum Wilson on. I mean, you don't want him to get injured, and we all know that Senegal will still be targeting Harry Kane if he gets the ball. As for Sterling, no, we haven't really missed him too much because the players either side of Harry Kane have been performing absolutely brilliant so far.
Absolutely. Free kick to England whilst Luke was talking there. And Senegal are about to make a change. Number 19, Diallo, is going to come on. And he's going to be replaced by Dyer, who had that golden opportunity to score when the game was at 0-0. Mike's been on. He said, stick to football, JB. It's not Tinder. Other dating sites are available. Yes, and I'm on a few of those. But I'm not an undateable. I'm a good-looking lad. Lost a lot of weight, actually. Luke, I've now lost, while we're on the subject, I've lost now 1.5 stone. And Dad's my local Qatarian branch of Swimming World and smashed it yesterday. So, all's happy in my world anyway, as far as my weight's concerned. So here come Senegal now. Well, I'm just glad I'm at a healthy now, Luke. 16 stone, 10.5 pounds.
That's good.
It is good. Well, I'll be as finely tuned as you will come a few months' time. Anyway, England 3, Senegal 0. Luke Turton and JB John Stuttard in the commentary box. And it's been from the 38th minute onwards, it's been quite a routine performance from England. 2-0 at the break, and England have been penalised again. Marcus Rashford has hurt the back of his head as well. A little challenge there with Jacobs. And the Three Lions are certainly striking gold. But they've got a free kick to defend here. 3-0 up though. If you are hiding behind the sofa, it is safe at the moment to come out, for the moment anyway. Please don't hide behind the sofa because England are 3 up. For the time being, unless they score from this free kick, so they go. And make it about 30 plus yards. There's only 2 men in the England wall there. It's only going to be a right-footed effort. I can't say who the player is. It's a good for effort, but it's wide and into the side netting from number 17 there, which is Pape Sarr. And that's really the first real glimpse of goal they've had all second half, really, Senegal.
Yeah, and it wasn't even on target. It was a hit in the side netting, and you'd have to do well to beat Jordan Pickford from that far out.
It was a bit of an ambitious range to try and shoot, but at least the Senegalese are still enjoying it while they still can, and it's good to see. And they may leave the tournament now with a good deal of grace, which is great to see. Not like the way the Uruguayans behaved the other day, which was completely disrespectful. I'm not sure whether you saw that those scenes at the end of that game, as we're going to see Mason Mount and Kelvin Phillips coming on in a minute. But the Uruguayans, they know how to exit a tournament in style, but not that sort of fashion. And the behaviour at the end of it was despicable. And Cavani also knocked over a VAR monitor.
They behaved like a bunch of toddlers throwing tantrums because they couldn't get through. It was absolutely ridiculous.
What made it even worse was Shearer and Ferdinand were defending their behaviour, which I found very, very odd, considering the two people that we pay our TV fees to. So the penalty they tried to get in stoppage time wasn't a penalty. I just want to add, I'm sticking by what we said and what Paul James said when the original call was made. We still haven't changed our mind, neither Paul, Russ, or myself. Russ and myself, I should say, we're doing it again. Now, Harry Kane has gone down injured and he's been fouled. And the first yellow card has been shown to Koulibaly of Chelsea. And that really was a naughty challenge on Kane, right through the back of him. And yellow card, fair enough decision. He did knee into the back of him there, didn't he?
Definitely a yellow card tackle. That was atrocious.
You wouldn't want to wager it being upgraded to red on a VAR, would you? Because they will be checking, you know.
No, I think it is just a yellow card tackle.
Yeah, anyway, we're going to see some changes. Jude Bellingham is going to come off. Mason Mount will take his place. There he goes. And also Eric Dyer, we think, is going to come on of Tottenham. And John Stones is going off for him. Eric Dyer takes his place. So England ringing the changes. And I think quite rightly so, Luke. 15 minutes from the end. And, of course, with a possible quarterfinal against France, it's better to rest your big guns and get them sharp for that weekend match.
Yeah, they've just changed their mind on the Calvin Phillips one, haven't they? Because they put Dyer on instead of Phillips.
Yeah, Mike, as you just said, it's pretty easy when JB starts talking about his weight and dieting preferences. Yeah, well, it's been that sort of night, really. Luke Turton and I turned up here 2 hours ago expecting a stressful night. And from the 38th minute, I have to say, Luke, I don't know how you feel, but it's been a little bit stress-free since, hasn't it? You're going to have a free kick.
Yeah, it has, but you're never totally relaxed as a football fan because you do know it can go wrong from here sometimes.
Well, we both know, having supported Forest and Burnley respectively for many, many years, anything can still change. Anyway, Shaw with a free kick, and then going forth would certainly kill the game off towards Maguire at the back post. Rashford was lurking, but the ball is knocked away by Senegal. But England now, with all the fresh legs on you could possibly want, I can't see them. And I'm going to put my head on the block here. I can't see them blowing a 3-goal lead with about 12 minutes to go. I just can't see it. Unless the referee adds on another half-hour stoppage time, which would be a real turn-up for the Bucks job. But no, Senegal have never looked like scoring really in this second half, if truth be told. And no one's come back from 3-goal down, not for a long time in the history of the World Cup finals. I remember West Germany in 80. I think I recall West Germany in 82 coming back from 3-1 down in that cracking game against France. They actually went on to draw 3-3 at the end of extra time. For the older listeners, you may remember that that game was marred by an incident between Patrick Battiston and Howard Schumacher. And Schumacher took out Battiston and put him in hospital and ended up with a cracked vertebrae and 2 broken teeth. And in those days, Luke, he didn't even get booked for it. He just carried on regardless. And he actually went on to save 3 penalties in the shootouts. Germany did get their comeuppance in the final. Also in that same tournament, they were involved in another shameful exhibition, the shame of Eon, when West Germany and Austria, knowing that all the other group games in their group had been played, and they knew that a 1-0 West Germany win would see them through, and that's exactly what happened. Rubesch scoring after 10 minutes, and then it was just almost like a game of tennis, Luke. Literally, it was just you to me, and they played it out for 80-odd minutes, and it called FIFA to change the rules for the last group game to be played simultaneously as the ball was played in by Rashford to Kane. It just couldn't grow enough there. But England again on the warpath there as they try to go for a fourth. Here's Declan Rice now for England, and here's Luke Shaw, he's had another tremendous game. 10 and a half minutes to go, plus any injury or stoppage time. Let's check the comments section. Mike says he wants the clean sheet now. Would cap up a perfect night if we do a shutout. Do you think he's got a point there? Clean sheet as well as a good victory would set ourselves well for France, wouldn't it, Luke?
Absolutely. I think you'll want the clean sheet now as well.
Well, they've not conceded in 2 games. They did concede 2 against Iran. One was a dodgy penalty, I must say. I didn't think it was a penalty, but other people have sort of begged to differ with me on it. Mind you, when I make opinions, I never expect anything less than 50% agreement on anything. So that's just the way it is. If I see it, I say it. And the same applies to our co-coms and Nicholas Jones, who's done a terrific job so far in this tournament. One of the stars of our show. As another star there, Bamba, as Dieng Bamba, to give him his full name, has signed him to the ground. This was the chance, chance for Luke, and they called you Paul then. That was the chance there for Harry Kane. Not far away from getting in there, was he?
No, it was inches away, and that was close.
I must admit, Luke, I've been dying not to say Paul James for about 81 minutes now, because I Paul on the brain. I actually called Russ that the other day, because I've been throwing to Paul James a lot. Calvin Phillips is on, incidentally, for Jordan Henderson, but I've been desperate not to call you Paul James all night, and I nearly did. So I apologise if it did slip out. Because I threw to him so many times the other day. I've just had his name on the brain.
Okay.
Oh dear me. Yeah. Paul James is also one of my very loyal co-commentators, along with Luke and CW and of course CW being Chris Whiteman, of course, who is always a pleasure to do co-coms with. I remember, Luke, we did a commentary at Gateshead, and we looked at the Gateshead sponsor, and funny story this, we said something in the like, shall we call them up after the game or something? Because the Gateshead was sponsored by the local cab company.
Okay.
The things we get up to here at the TC Hub. Anyway, England 3, Senegal 0. And the reason why we're talking this sort of tosh is because nothing really is happening. England are in complete control of the game. Senegal don't look as if they're trying to get the ball forward with any great urgency. I think they've given up and decided that their World Cup is coming to an end. And England now can just play for time, try and keep a clean sheet, take the 3-0 or maybe more if they want to go for more goals, and see themselves through to a crunch game against Le Crunch, the French. England 3, Senegal 0. Big shout out to all the Storm FM radio listeners who have tuned into our coverage. You'll get back to your normal programs after the conclusion of the game. So you will have music as soon as the final whistle goes on the TC Hub. But we are streaming on their radio station, and it's lovely to have those listeners. Of course, JB Sports goes without saying. If you are listening on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button on any of those channels. JB Sports, Storm FM. Cross comes into the penalty area, header one by trying to figure out who that was inside the penalty area. I think it might have been Ismail Assar, I think. Yes, it was. Header over the top. It was a poor header, really. The goal kick. Number 12 is about to come on, which is Ballo, and that's for Jacobs. So, substitution being made. Just to remind you that if you are subscribed, if you are listening to us on any of these YouTube platforms, as I said, JB Sports, Storm FM, the Commentary Hub channel, and Commentary Hub 2, which is Russ's actual channel, as Jacobs now makes his way down the side of the pitch. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button on any of those channels you're listening on, and hit the notification bell, please. So then you get notified what commentaries will be up to next. And then you'll be the first to know what happens. And a big shout out to everyone who has tuned in tonight. We're all around the world. We've had people from New York. We've had people from Calgary. And it's nice when people around the world listen to you broadcast. It's a really nice feather in the cap. And Luke Turton will have to get his thinking cap on, because in about 3 minutes from now, I will be asking him to choose his player of the match, sponsored by Barry Swain's company, Commentary Services Limited. Senegal in possession, but not really making any inroads. Jack Grealish is right on top of Gay, number 26. The boys managed to hustle it back to Edouard Mendy, who again hasn't had the most convincing performance as goalkeeper tonight. So England, barring accidents, are through to play France. Here's Harry Kane coming forward from Grealish's pass, trying to do one or two little tricks and flicks on the edge of the area. And foul there by one of the England players, Mason Mount. Free kick to Senegal. Well, they had their chances at 0-0 and had two good ones. But Jordan Pickford saved England, and England never looked back. Here's number 24 now, Name. Can he dig out across here? No, 4 minutes left. Harry Maguire getting in there. And Harry Maguire, you would think now at this stage, will be a very relieved man, because he made 2 or 3 mistakes. Shot comes in, it's well wide. Wonder if it got a deflection here. Looks like it did get a deflection. It is a corner, Luke, but again, Senegal really going for it when really, when you look at how long there is to go, it's probably come far too late. And they've won their first corner, incidentally. They've taken it short.
Yeah.
And the ball comes in. Carry on, Luke. Pickford's got the ball.
Yeah, I think it is a bit too late for Senegal, but I think they'll still try and give it a go.
Yeah, they will. And, well, they do well to get to the last 16 in all circumstances. They had to get big results. But they finished in second in Group A behind the Dutch. The Netherlands, really, they're called now, but when I was growing up, they were known as Holland. Total football and all that. They're into the last 8, of course. And I have to say, from a tournament point of view, isn't it a shame not to see the Italians there, because they bring verb and colour and vibrance to their play. It's a very disappointing not to see the European champions gracing this tournament, really, Luke.
Yeah, but it is one less team you have to worry about beating, JB.
Yeah, but I'm trying to look at it from not just from an England point of view, but from a tournament perspective. Yeah, the Italians are still a class act, but hopefully we'll see them in 2026 when the format is up to something like 4. They're going to increase the teams as well. They're going to increase it. There's going to be something like 73 games played next year, next time out, Luke, with something like 9 groups of 3 or something stupid. I mean, the schedule now is absolutely preposterous as it is already. Just imagine if we're having to play having to have a World Cup with 80 odd games. Doesn't bear thinking about, does it, really, Luke? Do you think it's just a cash cow for you, FIFA, at this moment in time, what they're planning on doing?
I think it will be a summer one, though, won't it, JB? Because it's going to be in America, Canada,
it's going to be in America and Mexico, yes. But let's just break for a second, because Senegal have a chance inside the area, but England get it away just for half a second, and then the shot goes in blazing over the bar. But let's get back to that again. It has been, but I think to extend the format, I think 32 teams. I think you've got the right balance to extend it to 48 teams. Is it something like that? It's bordering on ridiculousness. Surely, like, it's got to be, because by the time they'll have played it in 2026, all the players would have had a grueling season for many of their club sides. The last thing they want to do, they definitely need something like 14 games to get to the final. it's certainly a money-making exercise for FIFA. But again, Luke, there's no sense about the players' welfare, is it?
I don't think that any of the potential footballing bodies actually care about player welfare, JB. I don't think they have for a long time.
Yes, a good point. UEFA, I mean, the Nations League, that's another cash cow and things like that. But I'm not going to get into grumpy old man mode because it's a great night for England, a great night for English football. And with the 90th minute about to be hit, it's time to turn to you, Luke Turton. We've only got 4 added minutes as well, which is great. So it's going to be an early finish for us anyway, compared to some of the other commentators who have had the misfortune of commentating on 6 to 12 minutes of time added on in some games. Let's just break off for a second. We will get your player of the match in a second. Here's Luke Shaw now. Can England finish with a real flourish? Chip ball towards the back post. And is that in? No, it's side netting from Marcus Rashford. Goal kick to Senegal. So, Luke Turton, I'm going to turn to you now. Who is your player of the match sponsored by Commentary Services? Who are you gone for, mate?
I've gone for Harry Kane.
Yes, and why do you feel that Harry Kane deserves the player of the match?
Well, his all-round ball play and link-up play has been brilliant, and then he's also scored tonight as well. So that's my reasoning.
Yes, and he's also played the full 90. Looks as if as well. The England captain, our player of the match, and I think a fair comment there from Luke Turton. I think I will give special mentions to Bukayo Saka and Phil Foden and Jordan Henderson, amongst others as well. I'm sure they were in your mind of thinking as well, Luke. But the England captain has led by example. But of course, England's captain always leads by example when it comes to the big occasion. And no exception tonight. Yellow card, is it going to be for Declan Rice? No, he's got his vanishing spray out. It is a definite Senegal free kick. Bit of a high foot there from Rice, but took out Bamba, but no yellow card. I think you're going to say something in the lines of you've seen them given.
Yes, and I was also going to say that Declan Rice was also very close up in my thinking for player of the match as well. By the way,
yes, he had a super game as well. And Paul says he misses the Azure at the World Cup, but anyway, we'll get back to some of those comments towards the end. We've got 2 of the 4 minutes. It's a free kick to Senegal. About 25 yards out. There's 4 in the wall, plus Grealish on the deck behind that 4-man wall. Rashford just on the outside of that wall. Not really technically a 5th man. Can Senegal at least end up with some consolation? Shot comes in, it's into the wall from Pieng. It's a poor free kick, really. And it's out for a throw. So let's just check these comments. Paul says we do miss the Azure at the World Cup. I believe we do. Mike says about the extended World Cup, it will go on for 2 months. Bellingham as well. He was brilliant. And Mike also says he doesn't argue with your choice of Kane, with Harry Kane. Very good choice. And Rice was very good too. So that's all the comments caught up with. Senegal have a corner. And we've got about a minute of the 4 to play. And it comes now from Pape Sarr. It comes away, and it's been so easy for England now as Rashford almost intercepts a loose ball. 10 yards from halfway, but it's still inside the England half. But Senegal now going through the motions. Luke, final thoughts really on what's been a super night for England and for English football?
Yeah, it's been a great performance for England. They in the end defended quite well and attacked and basically finished the main chances. It's been very decent for England tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. But they have considered a cheap corner now. Funny that, commentators curse and all that. Anyway, corner kick, and it's going to be Pape Sarr to take. Last chance now, and Maguire gets ahead on it, gets it out away. Thanks to Martin. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed the commentary all the way in Calgary. Very nice to have you with us. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Senegal have a throw. We'll play 10 seconds over the 4. It's all over. England are there. England are there. Terrific performance. First 38 minutes was a little bit dodgy when Senegal had 2 great chances. But as soon as Henderson swept in the first after 38 minutes, There was no looking back for England. Harry Kane added a second with the last kick of the first half, and Bukayo Saka made it absolute. 33 minutes from the end. He scored after 57 minutes as they posed for photographs, which you'll see on your papers tomorrow. Harry Kane, our player of the match, and I think no one would argue with that choice of blue curtains for absolutely certain. England have gone through in a knockout round and have won it in the most convincing of manners, and now they'll go through to play France on the 10th of December. It's been a great performance. Pickford, that one save from Dyer at 0-0 was pinnacle, was the foundations to a superb England victory. Senegal go out with a bit of a whimper. England go through with style. It's finished here at the El Bayt Stadium. England 3, Senegal 0. Nicholas Jones.
Thanks, JB. Well, that was very convincing by England, and you have to say once Kane started, but we have to say once Kane got the goal in just after, once Kane got the goal in just before half time, Senegal did look like they were starting to tire out, Luke.
Yeah, they, especially after half time, they didn't really have the energy to keep up with England, and in the end, we just kind of cruised that second half. We scored the goal and then just kind of made sure we defended well.
Indeed, we did. But also do not discount that incredible goal by Bukayo Saka just before the hour mark. All I can say is that it's just a pity he hasn't scored more so far. I mean, those two goals he scored in the match against Iran were just amazing. But what we saw tonight just shows that he is so ready for the international stage.
Absolutely, he's on fire this tournament.
Yes, yeah. So as I'm impartial myself, Senegal they did their best mainly throughout the first half, but their players were unfortunately nowhere near England's standard.
No, Senegal didn't really live up to what they did in the tournament in the group stages. They were a bit sloppier in possession, and I think, to be honest, they just didn't have the cutting edge. Whereas if they probably had Mane fit for the tournament, then it might have been a different story altogether. But I think they were just a little bit off it tonight, and it just paid for their exit.
Well, if Mane had been included, then who knows what might have been. And as for the way England have played throughout the World Cup, it just goes to show that Gareth Southgate's management criticisms were entirely unjustified.
I think the criticisms mainly come more outside of the tournament, to be honest, Nicholas, with what he does with his squads, more than actually in the tournaments themselves, because he's got to a semi-final and a final. So you can't really criticize him in major tournaments. I think it's just what he does leading up to those tournaments that gains him a little bit more criticism when you'd like to see him be a little bit more adventurous.
I did actually mean as a whole, because whatever he puts forward, whatever he puts forward pre-match, we're gonna try this, we're gonna try that. Whatever criticism it gets, all I can say is that it gets the job done at the end.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So Harry Kane going forward into the game against France, could this be the game where he equals Rooney's record?
Potentially. I mean, he's now off the mark, so that's one weight lifted. And I mean, it's not going to be as easy against the French, But again, we'll have to see kind of how the game pans out, because you never know what performance we're going to come out with.
Sorry about that. Just accidentally hit the volume control on my TV. So, but anyway, that just about wraps up our coverage on the commentary hub. My thanks to Luke and JB for that. My thanks to Luke and JB for their commentary. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow on the commentary hub and all our other channels for the World Cup, it's Japan against Croatia with Russ Vernon and Mike Harneman on commentary duties.
Nicholas, Russ wants to add something for you. Sorry to interrupt.
And that's okay, JB. But we've just got that's okay, JB. But we've got Russ Vernon coming in right now. So good evening, Russ. You say you want to add something?
Yes. Good evening, Nicholas. Good evening, JB. Good evening, Luke. For me, player of the match. Yes, Harry Kane did play well, though. But for me, my player of the match, look, don't know what you thought of his performance. Would have probably gone to Jordan Henderson. I thought he had a fantastic game in that midfield this evening. I thought he played one of England's better players, one of the best performances. And I thought tonight, yes, I know JB said off air to me before the stream started that he felt Jude Bellingham had played well in this tournament. Well, for me, tonight was Jude Bellingham's best performance as well. I thought Bellingham, one of his better performances today I didn't think he really got going against Iran or USA or Wales. I think tonight he really stepped up and showed why Southgate has started him in all of the matches so far. And like Luke said, I'm delighted Harry Kane's got off the mark. But probably got off the mark against Iran, and he was unlucky in that game not to do that. And I don't think he'll probably break the record or get equal to Wayne Rooney's record in the France game of the weekend, Nicholas. And I've got to say, I think he could even break it. You saw Olivier Giroud in the France game earlier break Thierry Henry's record. So why not Harry Kane do it in the French game, break Wayne Rooney's record for the Three Lions as well? And I think fantastic performance from everyone tonight. And I just want to say as well, great commentary from Luke and JB tonight, fantastic work, and also a fantastic work from yourself as well, Nicholas, presenting as well. You've all done a great job this evening.
Thank you to Russ for his last minute's opinions and contribution, and that just about wraps it up on the commentary hub. So this was a clash of the Lions, but the Three Lions have beaten the Lions of Teranga to the post in this duel just outside the deserts, and for England they just keep roaring on. Good night.